There was a time when I needed to make perfect scrambled eggs. It was the least I could do. Now in the waning weeks of my mother's life, she had little desire for food of any kind, but she did like a nice plate of buttery, salty scrambled eggs, still. She had extremely advanced lung cancer. This was no surprise because she was a smoker since age 12. We didn't know any better then, honey, as she always told us. And the cancer hadn't been discovered till it was roughly the size and shape of her entire left lung. When I'd gotten the news, I packed my things and left Chicago and my new husband and went home to the desert to help out around the house. My 3 brothers also came home. Taciturn and unsentimental, my mother had always been far more interested in those brothers and never quite knew what to do with me, her introspective only girl who wanted to talk to her, not watch baseball with her. I went home with little expectation of talking now. Mostly, we sat on the back screen porch, my mother on the chaise and I in a chair, watching the birds at the feeders, letting the extraordinarily cool May breezes wash over us. I tucked her into light blankets. I was her secretary and she dictated letters. I watered and trimmed her many bouquets. Sometimes I practiced my cello for her. As only a mother could, she loved it, closing her eyes and smiling meditatively as if she were listening to Yo-Yo Ma playing the Bach cello suites, even though I was a Suzuki student just starting out. "What is that beautiful melody, honey?" she'd say, going so far as to insist I play Lightly Row at her funeral. I didn't. I mean, Lightly Row. I also cooked for her. Her doctor had said she should eat colorful things, lots of reds, oranges, and greens. But we weren't on any kind of nutritional rescue mission. Healing was not even an option. And while she did drink much of the juice we pressed for her in someone's borrowed juicer, she was not interested in the crisp and the colorful. For her, only a small range of comfort foods would do: grilled cheese, tomato soup, toast with peanut butter, and scrambled eggs. I could do very little for her, really. I just wanted this one thing, scrambled eggs, to come out right, to be just perfect, not dry and overdone with a thick skin stuck to the pan like usual. I was persuaded that low heat and lots of stirring was the key, and my mother's glass cooktop made things even worse. My mother, excellent cook that she was, never complained. She simply beamed. I think this period in her life was in some ways the sweetest. She simply relaxed in her family's love and attentions. She basked. She luxuriated. She had done for 4 kids and all their friends and nieces and nephews and neighbors and so many others all her adult life, and now by necessity, she was on the receiving end. She smiled and sighed and obediently sipped at her carrot strawberry spinach juice, closing her eyes and just enjoying our presence. It seemed that lung cancer put us somewhere new, my mother and I. We were in a time out of time, a liminal place. She found me delightful and important, and I found her open and joyful and generous. She shared herself with me. She told me stories about her life, revealed opinions long held in about everything, gossipy observations about others in her circle, why she married my father, laments about the silliest things, like the fact that not only could we not find the unfinished scarf I had knitted when I was 8, but she couldn't even remember me knitting it at all. How could a mother not know that her little daughter was knitting a scarf, she said. I listened, rapt. I tell all my friends, she confided to me when the 2 of us were alone on the back porch one afternoon, that everyone should have a daughter. Everyone should have a daughter. This was completely and totally news to me, but I accepted it, gift that it was. And so we gave each other many such gifts, hers in the form of unprecedented conversational surprises, and her obvious joy at all my ministrations, however inadequate. I gave her my service and myself, my cello, my flower arrangements, my crappy scrambled eggs. Without question, it was the best time of my 32 years with her. But the booby prize of those weeks was, of course, that she died Our time was ephemeral, like cool desert breezes in May, like spring's tissue-frail cactus flowers, briefly luminescent under a blistering sun. When my mother was gone, I could no longer heckle her about her annoying stovetop and beg her to tell me again how to make it work. And though I blame the stove, in truth, I couldn't make decent scrambled eggs anywhere. It was many more years until I got them right. Using tips from my Greek uncle-in-law, I was now able to feed my baby girl a nearly perfect version of the only food she wanted. With my sweet 1-year-old on my hip, I made scrambled eggs for her every morning one-handed. High heat and a good thick pat of butter melted to sizzling, then pour 2 well-beaten salted eggs in the pan. Give them 3 or 4 quick stirs in about 30 seconds and slide them out into a small bowl. That's how I do it now, except with 2 hands. And I do make better scrambled eggs than almost anybody. It's a good, handy thing to know, but not as good as knowing that one's mother thought everyone should have a daughter. And now I can pass that gift on to my young daughter so she can hold on to it her whole life and mine. I'll teach her how to make scrambled eggs, too.